Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at the Yakima SkinnyWarrior Roof Cargo Basket here on our 2019 Toyota RAV4. So you got your RAV4 and you're ready for adventure, but what if you need a little extra cargo space for some of the items that either don't fit inside your vehicle or you don't want in your vehicle? Those could be your muddy items, your snowy items, or even just your awkwardly sized cargo. So that's where a cargo option like this comes in handy. You could get a rooftop cargo box that's more enclosed to the elements, or you can have the open space of a roof cargo basket. So we'll talk about the SkinnyWarrior and how it works. We are going to focus on the RAV4. That way you can see how much space does this save so you can carry other items. Where the SkinnyWarrior really shines is how it doesn't take up much space on top of your RAV4, so that you can carry other accessories like a rooftop mounted bike or even a smaller kayak. So let's take some measurements for that to see how much space do you have to work with. I currently have the 51-inch long crossbars, so I could actually mount these to the overhang so it sits all the way to the edge. Highly recommended. But these are the longer crossbar options for Inno. You might have the shorter ones where you don't have overhang, so this is probably where it's going to sit. So if you measure from clamp to clamp, this sits at 13 inches of space it takes up. That's how much space you're going to have on your crossbars for it to clamp down. The types of crossbars this fits around though is you have arrow like what we have here, but you can also put these around your round, square, or even factory bars. Now, if you do have the factory bars, those sit really close to the top of your roof. I always recommend the aftermarket ones instead, but the clamps themselves are pretty low profile, so they will still work. Because measuring from underneath the crossbar to the bottom of the clamp, we have about 1.5 inches of clearance we're gonna have to think about in order to install. Everything else for installing is gonna happen on top since you have these nuts to tighten things down. So these wing nuts tighten down on the clamps that go around your crossbars. Notice where they sit on your roof basket. So you do kind of have a limited area for your crossbar spread. Just make sure it lines up. It's really good to see that we have a good fit on the RAV4. So speaking of crossbar spread, I have mine set to 23 inches apart. If you have the raised rails on your RAV4, you can pick and choose. If you have the fixed mounting points or the naked roof though, you are gonna have to work with whatever roof rack kit you currently have. This is adjustable though, so that's gonna work with pretty much any roof rack configuration you do have. So the basket is pretty low profile. For the height added to the top of the roof, it's going to be 12 inches or 1 foot. That way if you're going through the drive-through or if you have a low garage, this is gonna fit through that. Now you do have these anchor points on top, so that means you can carry cargo that's taller than the basket and just strap it down. So just keep that in mind, again, if you're going through a drive-through or you have a low garage. So the SkinnyWarrior has the option to extend if you get the extension piece. So the full extended version is going to be 78 inches long. I do have the base or the shorter version. So you can see here it fits very well with our RAV4. Opening up the hatch, you can see the clearance from the back of the basket to the top of the door is going to be 10 inches of clearance there. So perfect for your extra long cargo. And speaking of extra long cargo, you do have the option to remove this plastic fairing, although you are limited to the top of the basket in terms of the height of the long cargo. Now I do recommend keeping that plastic fairing on just because that keeps with the aerodynamic style of the basket, helps guide that wind and reduce the wind drag and wind noise that you will have with the basket on your car. You have a weight capacity of 165 pounds with this roof basket. Just keep in mind your actual roof weight capacity or your roof rack capacity. So calculate your cargo, calculate the weight of the basket, which is 23 pounds, and add the roof rack weight and make sure that doesn't exceed your RAV4's weight capacity. So with this basket sitting inside our roof rack, for our actual space for our other accessories, we have from the end of the basket to the end of our crossbars 23 inches. So that's going to be pretty much half of the vehicle available for those other fun cargo like your kayaks, another roof basket, or your roof-mounted bike rack. So my personal thoughts about the Yakima SkinnyWarrior is you can really see how it prioritizes space as well as portability. If you have just a need for a little extra cargo space, but you also want to be able to carry around other accessories, this is a really good option for you. It's also really nice to see that if you want to get the extension, you can, since you do have clearance for it with your hatch, if you just move the basket a little bit forward. Now, things that are not included, but I also recommend adding to this, is going to be the Moki doorstep. That's going to help give you that extra height and traction as you load and unload your basket. And we also have etrailer cam buckle straps that will help you with strapping things down and making sure everything's secure, since you can utilize the basket itself for anchor points. Now, if your priority though is you need a lot of extra cargo space, maybe more than can actually fit inside the SkinnyWarrior, we have other options for you too. One is going to be the Rhino Rack X tray. That's going to be an X-shaped cargo box basket, which will have a bit more width as well as length for your larger items. You can also get our platform racks. Those are going to be trays, something like the Pioneer platform, maybe a good fit for your RAV4 if your focus is cargo. But for something that has the best of both worlds, cargo space as well as pretty compact, that's where the Yakima SkinnyWarrior really shines. And that right there was a quick look at the Yakima SkinnyWarrior roof cargo basket here on our 2019 Toyota RAV4.